Disclaimer: a decent amount of evidence in this video was compiled by the absolute GOAT Draco Jester. Link to his amino will be in the description. So if anything in this video sounds smart or really good, it was them, cause y'all know I have no brain and I'm incapable of thought. Thank you so much to Draco Jester for indirectly helping with this video. Go pop on over to his amino linked in the description and show this legend some love. Now to the video. Hey, I'm really enjoying all these Xenoblade 3 theory and speculation videos going around lately about this wondrous game. And here's another one from me that is completely original that no one has ever thought of ever. This theory, I actually have a lot of evidence to support it and I'm actually serious about, unlike the Elvis and Zanza video, which was just some fun, dumb speculation. You saw the title, but Mira could actually be the same planet that Aionios and by extension 1 and 2 take place on. I'm not the first to think this, but there's actually quite a bit of evidence to support it. It could clear up some things about X that's left us confused for years as well, but let's actually get into how we could have been on Mira this whole time. We'll start with the least important part first. The fan theory that X is actually the 10th Xenoblade is actually kind of strengthened by the newest Xenoblade 3 trailer. Hasn't it always seemed weird why X always felt so disconnected to the rest of the series? It's so different from 1 and 2 that you'd think it was meant to be a game other than Xenoblade. However, this could be that it's set so far in the future, change has been exponential and technology has grown with it. That's about all I can explain, but let's actually get to the real theory. This theory is just as confusing and frustrating as it is possible and plausible. There are many things that seem so concrete, connecting the two games of X and 3. Then there are others that just make you want to rip your dick off. X is a very weird game to make fit with the information that we have at the moment. Let's start simple though. The Nopon are said to be native to Mira. If so, this can clear up something in 2 many overlook. In Xenoblade 2, during Klaus's speech, we get a shot of the Tree of Life and notice how there's nothing there that resembles a Nopon. When Klaus reset the universe, the Zohar could have brought things into the X2 universe, just like how it expelled other things into other universes. For example, Cole expelled half of his body in Galea, along with Elvis, into Xenoblade 1 universe. Okay, big deal, so what? You ever wonder why there are so few Nopon drivers? Since Nopon didn't exist in Aurus at the time, before Klaus reset it, he wouldn't have accounted for them when creating the blade system. This is why Nopon can't be drivers, because the core crystals don't have the code for Nopon DNA, and therefore Nopon can't resonate with blades. Now, for the few that can easily be explained as a genetic mutation that some have that is just barely close enough to what works for bonding with a blade. See, this is what I mean by it can be frustrating. If this were the case, then how did Nopon get dragged from Mira to Mira by the Zohar? Possible explanation for this could be that Nopon came to be sometime between the events of X and 3. It could simply have been pulled to another point in time as opposed pulled to another universe. But that leads to more debunks, begging the question, what happened when the Nopon that were pulled into the past Xenoblade 2 time met themselves from their actual time? It all just leads to an endless cycle of explanations, then debunking them immediately after. Shit is fucked. Not only that, but I want to keep talking about X, such as how the Samarians could be connected to Xenoblade 3, where Elma came from, or that the ghost could actually be the Saviorite Rebels from 2. And if I do that, this video will just become an X theory video, which isn't the premise of this video. I'll make dedicated X videos in the future, but now it's the time. But now is not the time for those. Now on to how Aionios could be Mira before the time of X. Some areas we see in the trailer look like areas Primordia, although obviously a bit different. What's interesting is the playable areas of X are not all of Mira. If you look here, this is an official art of Mira and has a lot of what we don't see in X, or any other game for that matter. As well as the entire other half of the planet is out of view, so we don't even know what's over there. Probably the most notable is at the top of the planet seems to be a world tree. While the world tree in Xenoblade 2 was destroyed, it could easily be one of the other two that were built in All Rest. Purple substance emanating from the planet could be physical ether, ether's physical form. I'm getting off track again, god damn it. There's so much about X I want to talk about and it's really hard to stay on track. I get distracted by everything as easily as Mevins gets distracted by Pyra. However, I do want to mention one big thing about X's ending that could somehow tie into 3. The ether flow of the planet could be keeping everyone alive, despite the life hold core being fucked. Since the humans in X are from Earth, they most likely had nothing to do with ether. They wouldn't have known what it is because ether just didn't exist back on Earth. Now, they do know about ether in X, but they're still learning about it and the whole planet of Mira. Mira is a huge planet and we don't get to see all of it in any instance, so who knows what's actually hiding on it on that other half that we never got to see. The great ether flow of Mira could be keeping them alive without the need of the life hold core. That could explain why Elma, or that could explain what Elma meant by
it's this planet. It's something about this planet.
It may be able to explain how Lao came back, and the black figure approaching him could be someone from Kevis. But again, I'm getting way too distracted by X. God, I just love this series and wish I could just go on and on and on for hours just rambling about it. I can sit here and go on for hours just rambling about Xenoblade. There's so much to talk about, just not enough time. I love Xenoblade. Now, finally, it's time for actual connections, like halfway into the goddamn video. In Xenoblade X, there's a collectible named Primitive Colossus statue, and its description reads, a pair of gigantic stone idols locked in combat. No one is sure who sculpted them, or why they have their name, but their primal beauty leaves a deep impression on those who stand before them. This is obviously describing the remnants of the Bionis and Mechonis. Now I actually have an idea who actually could have made them. Likely someone from Kevis, considering the Xenoblade 1 ties. So likely someone from Kevis or Xenoblade 1 made them, and are likely someone who had first-hand experience of the event. Who's the only Xenoblade 1 character still alive that we know of right now? It's the bird lady herself, Miss Melly. She could have created it as a reminder of the old world and where she was, where she still had all her friends, since they are all as dead as her chances with Shulk were now. Not only that, she could have made it to teach the people of Kevis where she came from and how life was back then for her. Another thing that also bothers me was why there was a big ass Mechonis ring, like a giant Mechonis shoulder ring in Oblivia. It's practically identical to the ones on Mechonis. Now remember that Xanza didn't completely obliterate the Mechonis. Its body is destroyed, but it is still there after the fact. Oblivia could simply just be the resting place of the Mechonis this far in the future. Counter-argument could be that both Mechonis and Bionis were destroyed when Alvis recreated the world in Shulk's view, but bits and pieces of the two Titans remain as evident in the Bionis left shoulder in Future Connected, and the head along with the shoulder in the actual title screen after you beat the game, which is still there after the recreation, and the fallen arm literally being in the Xenoblade 3 trailer. So they weren't completely just wiped out Also, remember these machines? Don't these kind of look like Agnes technology? Or like the machines we saw in the trailer? They have similar design, even down to the color, and it's not unusual that they would still be functioning hundreds of years in the future either. Seeing how advanced technology seems to be during 3, paired with the fact that they run on ether, which Agnes is proficient in, it shouldn't be a problem at all for those machines to function long enough after they were commissioned. The connections don't even end there. The Endbringer itself, the one Telethia in Xenoblade Chronicles X. We only see 2 Hyantia in the Xenoblade 3 trailer, Melia and Uni, who are both half-breeds, so the pedigree Hyantia could be extinct. They might not, we don't know. We've only seen 2 Hyantia so far. However, considering how long Hyantia actually live, the Telethia in X could just be a Hyantia that reverted back to a Telethia anytime after the world reset and just before, or like before the events of 3 or in the events of X, and can just be living there and chilling ever since. Something else I thought of that was pretty interesting was the Vita. It is said to be the ultimate skull created with technology unknown to both human and ganglion. Its body is composed of dark matter, and the Vita could actually be Kevis technology if you think about it. The dark matter could just be the opposite of ether. If Agnes is proficient in ether, then it wouldn't be that astronomical to think that Kevis would be proficient in the opposite, like dark matter or whatever other element is complementary to ether. Considering how far in the past Xenoblade 3 takes place from X, it would make sense that the humans and the ganglion are unaware of Kevis since they literally just arrived on Mira. Also, the Sumerians could also be Homs or humans from Xenoblade 3's time. It's mentioned that Mira could have been the Sumerian homeworld before taking to the stars and starting the Samar Federation. We don't know much about the Sumerians or even know what they look like, so it's not too far-fetched to draw such a conclusion. And with every theory, there are some flaws. One is that how could X take place in the future if Earth was destroyed in the 2000s and the White Whale arrived on Mira 2 years later, but Xenoblade 2 takes place in the 4000s? I have 2 possible answers for this. First, the folks of Xenoblade 1 and 2 could have just simply started a new calendar after the universe was reset. Why not start a new world completely over from scratch? And the second, more complicated answer is that it took more than 2 years to get to Mira from Earth. Saying that it did take 2 years, like we were told, that's a 2,000 year difference. What the hell happened in that time? The 2 years could have been a cover up for something, I don't know. You're not really going to get anywhere in 2 light years, assuming they're moving at or very close to the speed of light. I don't think y'all realize how short a distance 2 light years is in space. To put in perspective, the solar system is about half a light year to a full light year across. At max, that's 4 light years of distance traveled. That may seem like a lot, but the Milky Way itself is about 100,000 light years across. 4 light years would be nowhere close to even 0.5% to the length of the Milky Way. That's like comparing a water bottle to a radio tower. Space is absolutely astronomically massive with so much empty space and everything spread out so far. Even 100,000 light years is a minuscule distance. So traveling 2 light years or 2 years away from Earth, you're really not going to get anywhere or find basically anything. And oh yeah, something I found dope was that Takahashi actually had the idea and general story of 3 already conceived right after 1's development was finished and before 2 started. So he completely made X with the overarching story F3 in the whole series basically figured out. And as I said before, Takahashi doesn't do coincidence. So all these X and 3 connections could actually be intentional and more likely. There's so much more I want to talk about regarding X and how some of it links to 3, but I can't do that in this video. I love Xenoblade so much, and I just want to sit here and rant about Xenoblade for hours. Such an incredible franchise and storyline has been the first for a lot of things for me. Xenoblade has genuinely changed my life and has been the only game series to do so. Can't express how much I love this series, so hopefully I'll be able to portray that through my videos. That's about all I can think of for right now. Guarantee you there's gonna be something my dumbass forgets to mention as soon as I upload this video, and I'm gonna be shooting myself in the dick for it. But yeah, that's about it. I'm really proud about how this video turned out, and it's the most I've put, like the most effort I've put into Xenoblade wise. Since I finally have the means to do so, I'll be able to upload more and more videos like this and just be able to talk about Xenoblade in general. I'm so excited for the future of the series and my channel. Most of all, I'm excited I can take y'all along for the journey. Again, shout out to the GOAT Draco Jester for his help on this video. Go pop on over to his amino and show him some love. But that's about it for this video. Like always, thanks for watching. Have a damn good day. Stay safe, be well, and play some goddamn Xenoblade.